I'm Shakiba from Marketing team. Welcome to our episode of Bubbly Talking Show. Bubbly Talking is a kind of travel talk in which we're gonna be talking with different tourists and see the world from their point of view. Here we have a guest from London, Iana. Hey, Iana. We are happy that you are here.
I'm glad to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
Can you tell us a little about yourself?
Well, I am from London, originally from Jamaica, but I've lived in London kind of most of my life. Work in events, and I just absolutely love travel.
Oh, okay. So, how was the coronavirus there?
It was a bit tough. I mean, we went into lockdown a bit later than I think other countries did. But I think with the lockdown, it did kind of allow me to maybe, take a step back and start doing some of the projects that I thought I wanted to do, but I just didn't have time, that kind of thing. And then now it's kind of eased a bit. So there's things that we can do and obviously things that we still have to be mindful of. But I think overall it's been fine.
Okay, so
but obviously
did you come back to your work?
Travel.
Did you come back to your work?
So I've been fortunate enough to be one of those people that that's able to work from home. So I've been working from home since the lockdown started in March, and they're still kind of continuing on with that kind of going forward. So that's a plus.
Okay, and can I ask you what's your job?
I'm a corporate events manager, so I do kind of corporate events, that kind of stuff, conferences, gala dinners, just that kind of stuff.
Great. So let's back to the important topic in our meeting. Your travel to Thailand, yeah?
Yes. So that was such like an amazing trip. I went December 2019. It was actually like a birthday trip because I like to go away for my birthday. So every year since 25, I've been booking to go away to somewhere for my birthday.
So it's a gift for yourself? Trip. You buy it for yourself as a gift?
Basically, it's my birthday gift to me. So I decide where I want to go. I decide where I want to stay, and then I just go.
Okay.
But this time it was a bit. I wasn't sure I was going to be able to go because this time last year, so end of July last year, beginning of August, I just had surgery on my foot, so I couldn't actually walk, and I had booked the trip, and I'm like, oh my gosh, am I going to actually get to go? So yeah. But yeah, Thailand, it was just amazing. I went in December, and that's kind of like a peak time to go. It is hot, but it's cool as well, and it's just a nice time. It wasn't too kind of busy where I was staying. So if I just break it down, I went for about, I want to say I went from the 7th to like the 14th of December or something like that. So maybe like a week or a little bit more. I kind of had a bit more time there. Stayed in Karam Beach. That's close to Patong Beach. Patong Beach is the one that's really popular.
Yeah, I heard it.
But I didn't want to stay where it's too busy, but I didn't want to be too far away. So I stayed in Karam Beach at the Mandavara Resort and Spa. That spa is amazing. The whole resort, amazing. We had kind of like our own room. They upgraded my room because it was my birthday. So that was amazing. Yeah, I thought I'd ask, like when I got there, I thought I'd ask, why not? So they upgraded my rooms. We had like a nice little balcony and we overlooked one of the 5 pools that they have there. So that was really nice. It was a really massive resort and it was kind of set in like on a hill, but it's very palm trees, lots of vegetation. So you wouldn't think that you're on a resort. You'd think that you're probably like in the middle of a jungle or something. So that was a really, really nice
So vibe. You have a wonderful birthday in the middle of jungle, I think.
Basically, it was definitely well worth it.
Did you travel? Travel by yourself or with your?
Oh no! So I went with my friend. My friend in Canada. She's also a travel junkie, and we tend to kind of go away with each other for our birthdays. So it was kind of like let's book a flight and make sure that we're getting there at the same time. So a lot of logistics to coordinate all of that. So that was fun. And we met up in Thailand, kind of at the airport, and then we took the taxi to the resort. So yeah.
So you had a luxurious travel for your birthday, yes? I think.
Yeah, I did. I flew with Qatar Airways. So I would 100% recommend them to kind of anyone. I flew economy and I felt like I was in more than economy, to be fair. Like the spacing in between the seats were amazing. The food was amazing. Like the flight attendants were amazing. And obviously because I had like a bit of a dodgy leg, I had like a whole row of seats to myself. So that was nice as well. So yeah, I can't fault anything with that kind of experience, no.
Okay, and why you choose why such a destination for your birthday?
Well, to be fair, I've always wanted to kind of visit Asia. I've been to Indonesia, so I've done like the Bali, Yogyakarta, that kind of thing. And then I was like, I always saw, you know, like photos of like Thailand and the nice greenery and the turquoise water and that kind of stuff. And I'm like, yep, I want to go to Thailand. So normally when I decide that I want to go somewhere, I'm like, gonna book it, and I book it, and then I just go. So yeah, and then it was perfect because a lot of it, having my birthday in November, it means that quite a few places that's kind of local in Europe, that it's quite cold, and I do not like the cold. I know I live in England, but I do not like the cold. So I thought warm destination, and then yeah, Thailand, that was a good shout.
So, and how long have you been traveling?
I'd want to say like my first ever trip, kind of without not it being like a family trip.
Yeah.
My first trip was probably 2009, and I went to Alicante in Spain, and that was just like a short little. I think it was maybe like a 4-day trip, but that was the first trip. So that was 2009, and we're in 2020 now. So I say 11 years.
Okay, and was it hard for you? As a solo, did you travel as a solo? Yeah, sorry.
Did I travel
as a solo?
Yes. So when I went to New York and when I went to Vancouver, I traveled there kind of by myself. I stayed with my cousin, but they have work and stuff, and they don't get as much holiday time as we do here in the UK. So when I traveled there by myself, and when I was there, I was more or less exploring and doing everything kind of by myself anyway. So that was New York and Vancouver. Absolutely loved Vancouver. So the time when I was in Vancouver, I kind of got lost because I didn't know where I was going. I didn't have like Wi-Fi on my phone. I didn't buy a spare SIM or anything. So I got lost in the middle of Stanley Park, and I was like, oh my gosh, Iana, you're actually lost. What are you going to do? So I think panic set in for maybe like a second, and then I was like, you know what? It's fine. You're lost. You're going to find your way. So
no problem. Take it easy.
I kept like exploring and seeing things. Like I saw so many beautiful like bits and bobs, like raccoons, and like the water. I think it was like a lake or a pond, and the color was just, I've never seen a color like that before. So getting lost, I found like some really nice places, and I don't think I would have found them if like I had just planned to go somewhere, if that makes sense. So that was nice. Like I got lost, and eventually I found my way back because it was kind of like a loop. When you're in the park, wherever you go, you would more or less find your way back to the city. So went through the park, ended up at like the seafront, which was really nice, and then came back through a different way in the park, and then ended up in the city. And I was like, oh, that's fine then.
So you found lots of beautiful places when you lost.
Lots of places, and I think that's one of the things about traveling in general. And I think as well with solo traveling, I think because I was by myself, I could then I wanted to do, rather than if it was probably someone else, they would probably be a bit more anxious to say, oh my gosh, we're lost, maybe we should try and head back or whatever. But because I was by myself, I was just like, you know what, let's just go with the flow and kind of see what happens.
I think these are the memorable things during the solo traveling.
I think during the solo, the most memorable thing is just kind of getting your own sense of self, kind of doing your own actual time, and kind of getting to know you I think that sounds a bit weird, but I think it's kind of, you have to do the experience first to actually kind of get that feeling. So I know that it might be kind of anxiety inducing, where you're like, oh my gosh, you don't want to go by yourself because you're going to have to sit and eat by yourself. You're just going by yourself. Oh, how are you going to take photos? That kind of stuff. But I think once you're doing it, like, it's just a sense of, I don't even know what word to use.
No word can explain it, I think.
Yeah, it's like a sense of like accomplishment that you can do, and you find that you just start to do these things and you're quite comfortable in it, and you'll quite easily just ask someone, oh, can you take a photo of me? Obviously ask someone that you can probably chase, because if they take your phone and run or your camera, then you won't be able to catch them. But yeah, or alternatively, you can just have a tripod. Don't be like me. Make a decision and buy a tripod.
Okay, and I forgot that. How many days did you stay in Thailand?
So in Thailand, I think it was the 7th to, I want to say the 7th to the 15th. So I think it was like 8 days, 9 nights.
And was it enough for you?
I would say no. I want a bit more time, but I think because I had the injury with my leg, it was enough time for me to be there, and it was enough time for me to do some of the bits that I wanted to do and still have a good time and not feel like, oh, I went and I missed out.
And how about the prices there? Was it the expensive country or not?
Thailand, I think, compared to the pound, Thailand is so cheap.
Really?
Like, so cheap, yeah. But I don't know how it compares to kind of other currencies.
Yeah.
But pound, if, for instance, we had like a full body Thai massage, that's another weird story, but it was good. We had a full body Thai massage, and that was an hour long, and that was just £3.
£3?
I think it works out. Yeah, it works out to be about $3.50 or $4.50. Gosh, I keep forgetting what currency they use there. Rupiah, I don't know.
Okay, no problem.
It works out to be either $3.50 or $4.50 in their currency, but just £3. And if I was to buy that here in England, I'd be paying, I'm sure, close to like between the ranges of like kind of £70 to £90. So
such a difference.
Really cheap. Such a difference. So that was cheap. The food was cheap. I definitely say that you don't really need a whole load of spending money for Thailand. If you're going and if you're okay with having kind of street food and such. I didn't have much street food because I've got kind of weird allergies, so I have to be a bit careful. But Thailand is really cheap. So the food is really cheap. Shopping is cheap. I think, again, it obviously depends on whatever currency it is. So going back to the food, you can get such nice cuisine for like really cheap prices. And like street food, I know was quite cheap. I wasn't able to kind of indulge in the street food because I've got allergies, kind of weird allergy stuff. But from what I saw and kind of the prices, because you can hear people like shouting the prices and that, it was kind of like really vibey and loud. So from what you can hear, the prices are very cheap, and the portions that you get is really kind of really good portions as well.
Did you try any special food there? That's amazing.
At the hotel, I did. It was kind of like, I can't remember the name of it, but it was kind of like a coconut type. Coconut infused with ginger type dish. Like, you know, the type of dishes that kind of make your toes curly. Yeah. So it's kind of that. That was really nice. And they did really nice, what do you call it? Smoothies and that kind of stuff. And because it's kind of like a tropical country, you get all of like the fresh fruits. And
Thailand is known for the fruits.
Exactly. So I didn't buy like any street food as such, but I bought a load of coconuts. I was drinking like coconuts like crazy. And obviously, if we come from Jamaica, we drink kind of the coconut water, and then we'll chop it, and then we'll have the jelly that's inside. So I was literally like to my friend, how many coconuts can I drink throughout this trip? And I was literally going through like 2 coconuts a day, and like healthy ones as well. So obviously when you drink it, you're like, okay, yeah, no, I'm full. but I need to finish this. So like it was just nice.
So
that I did.
I think you ate lots of coconut in your life just in Thailand.
Loads, and drank loads of coconut, like on the beach, at the resort, just kind of like on the street when I'm walking through the town. Yeah.
So even if your friend asks you, what do you want to drink? You just coconut. Just
coconut. Yes. Yeah, in the restaurants as well. Oh, would you like, oh, do you have coconut water? They're like, yeah.
And how about the accommodation? Wasn't it any expensive or it's cheap also? Again?
So my accommodation, the room that we got, I think it probably, I want to say it worked out to probably be maybe £350 per person. But that wasn't the cheapest room. So you can get cheaper rooms there. But because it was for my 30th birthday, I wanted like something a bit,
luxurious one. It's your birthday.
I think we got like the superior twin room. But then obviously, remember I said when I got there, they did kind of upgrade my room complimentary as well. So we got even a better standard of room. So I wouldn't say it was expensive, and that included the price we paid for the room. That included breakfast as well. And with breakfast, it was like a full spread of like everything. So like you had, if you wanted like Thai food, like your Thai cuisine, you can have that, or you can have like Thai breakfast like bits, or they had like continental bits, so then you have eggs, or they had like pancakes. You could get like coconut crepes.
Love pancakes.
See, there's a theme here. I keep going back to the crepes and stuff. You can get eggs, fruits. They had this bar where they had the different ingredients, and then you tell the server what you want, and they just made the omelette there and then, kind of in front of you. So that was nice. They had like fish, like your salmon and that kind of stuff. It was like a lovely, lovely spread. So there was no kind of 2 days where you're having the same thing. But obviously I was having the same thing because I was obsessed with those coconut crepes. So that's more or less what I had every day.
Every day you just drank coconut. Nothing important there.
With scrambled eggs and like scrambled eggs filled with loads of chili. And then, that was it.
Okay. And I check your Instagram page, and I saw about the shower that you had with elephant. Does it a special tour?
Oh, amazing. So Thailand, I was able to do 3 different tours. So I'll tell you each one now. So I'll start with the elephant tour.
Okay.
So we went to the Green Elephant Sanctuary in Thailand. I think there's 2 of them. I can send you the details after this. But I think there's 2 elephant sanctuaries there. The one I went to was in Phuket. And it was the tour. You can pick kind of a half-day tour, afternoon tour, or you can do like a full-day tour. But because I was like, I don't want to wake up too early and go anywhere, I was going to do we decided to do like the afternoon tour. So we got picked up. We booked it at the hotel reception. So we got picked up for the afternoon tour. So you got picked up at about 12. And then they went and picked up anyone else who was on that tour. Luckily enough, there was only 2 other people that they needed to pick up. So they picked us up, and you were in kind of like this van, and the back is kind of open. So obviously you're driving and you got the wind on your face and that kind of stuff, and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm going to spend the day with elephants. So that was nice. So when we arrived, kind of we went to this kind of hut, and it was more for them to tell you how the day is going to go, give you a bit of kind of history lesson on elephants, and then give you a bit of background on the actual elephants that were there in the sanctuary on the day. So after we did that, we had like a little quiz, and then they were like, okay, well, the first thing we're going to do is get these elephants fed. And I was like, oh, nice. So I thought that we were going to maybe watch them feed the elephants. But what happened is they brought us to another table, and there was like a spread of like melon, sugarcane, rice, some other bits. And then they showed us how they made like, it was like rice balls or whatever. know what it was, but the elephants loved it. So we crushed those together, made the balls and stuff, and then we each took like maybe 2
You
buckets
made it, or they made it before?
So they got volunteers from the group to kind of bash it together and kind of make, so they kind of got you involved in the process. And then we got like buckets of like melon to take up to actually see the elephants. Obviously I was on my crutch again because of my foot. That's fine. I still picked up that bucket and I still, like, you see me like just hopping the way up the stairs to the bit. So then we got into the other bit. You can see the elephants and they were just so like, it was just, I've never seen an elephant in my life. I've only ever seen it kind of on TV.
Yeah.
And they're so grand, but they're just so gentle. So you got the buckets and there was probably, I think maybe 2 or 3.
They didn't hurt you. They didn't hurt you.
No, they didn't, like, they didn't do anything. So they were just there. They were just hungry. They just wanted to eat. So we had the buckets and then they were like, oh, pick up the melon and then feed the elephant. And I'm like, is it going to bite my hand or something? But like when you picked it up, you held it a certain way and you put it on its trunk and then it kind of used its trunk to like eat it. It was a crazy experience. So I think I've got a video of my friend where I'm like, oh, I don't know if I should do it, but I did it. And then it took it and it was just so nice. I think they say you have to stand kind of to a certain way to the elephants because they're kind of partially blind. Mm-hmm. So they kind of tell you these things so you don't end up doing something that's going to put yourself in danger or the elephant in danger. So after we fed them the melon, then it was time for sugar cane because they eat so much. And obviously, I mean, they're so massive, so they would eat that much. So after they ate, then it was time for like the mud baths. So we went down and then they're like, oh, time for the mud baths. I had my bikini on and everything already. I brought little kind of swimming shoes because I knew there was going to be mud. I mean, I love nature stuff, but I don't know if I love like mud in my toes. So I was like, let me bring my shoes. So when we went down, it was just, you had to get like, again, the buckets with the mud and then we plastered the mud to the elephants and stuff like that. So, and then the keepers, so each elephant had its own keeper. Mm-hmm. So the keepers were like wetting the elephant as well. And when we put the mud on them, it's kind of like sunscreen for them. So that kind of protects and soothes their skin, like how we would need kind of the sun lotion. So it was nice just like hopping and like doing the muddy bit on them. I couldn't take my crutch with me because it was kind of like metal and these elephants are like rescue elephants. They didn't want it to kind of make them anxious or make them feel like I'm going to hurt them or anything. So it was just a bit of hopping that was going on, but it was fine. I was happy to like hop and splat. That's what I was doing with the mud and stuff and then everything. Then after that bit, we had to walk down to the mud bath. So obviously they're muddy. They needed to get washed off. Sorry, the pool, not the mud bath. Walk down to the pool. And then like when the elephants got in the water, like the keepers, they said something and the elephant kind of went on its side. So then it was on its side and its trunk, like its head was like near enough halfway under the water. Its trunk was up and it was just there waiting for you to just like scrub it. So we all had like little buckets and like a scrubber, just like scrubbing the elephants. And then obviously when it blew the water out of its trunk, you got wet, but it was just really nice, like just a really nice experience. And then after that, we had lunch. They had a little cooking lesson to do like a traditional Thai meal. I'm so sorry, I don't remember like what these things are called. But we had after we had the bath with the elephants and stuff.
How many elephants are there? Was there?
At the time, there's different campsites in the actual sanctuary. So on the sanctuary we were at, I think there were maybe 3 elephants if I remember correctly. But in other campsites, they probably have more. And I think that's probably just to give them more space for each other and obviously as well to not have too many people around them at once. So it was good. Our group, there was probably only maybe like 10 or 12 of us, so it wasn't loads of people. So yeah, after that bit, we went back to the shed that we started in, and they did like a little cooking lesson. So they taught you how, it was basically they were providing you lunch, but you were kind of like cooking your lunch. So that was nice. So again, like a nice little Thai dish. And then you had your fruits and stuff, and then you could shower after. They had lovely showers there and stuff. So shower after, and then that was the end of that tour. And I was saying the good thing is that they take loads of photos of you throughout the day. So they take photos of the group or solo photos of you if you want to. So then if you do have your phone or your camera, you don't necessarily have to bring it to like the mud bath or to the pool, just in case it gets damaged or something, because they allow you, they take the photos for you. So, and then you can access those after, I think we got to see them maybe like 3 days after, and they put them up on their Facebook page, and then you just downloaded them.
Oh.
So that was one tour.
Okay, let me, we are going to watch a short clip of Iana, and we'll be back soon. We come back, and okay, Iana, wanna tell another story and another amazing tour that you had in Thailand. Thank you.
So the next tour that we did, we went to PP Islands. Obviously, when people talk about Thailand, they talk about PP Islands.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff. So the tour that we did, it was kind of by a speedboat, and I've never been on a speedboat before. I was super excited. So yeah, my friend and I, we got really dressed up because we were like, oh, we're going to
PP Island. Yeah, always with dress up.
So like again with this one, the pickup was quite early, so they picked us up from our hotel, and then they took us to the pier where we then got on the speedboat. There's different groups there, but then it's easy for them to identify who's come with whom or what tour you're meant to be on. You get these little wristbands, different colours will tell you that you need to be in different places. And then they give you like a little brief overview of what's going to happen kind of on the tour. And they're like, oh, if you get seasick, take some pills. And I was like, yep, I will have one of those because I get sick from time to time. But they're like, oh, just take half of it, because if you take a whole one, you're going to fall asleep. But this was after I already took a whole one. So I was like, oh, we'll just have to wait and see what happens. So yeah, went on a speedboat. I've never been on a speedboat before. I will say this. Do not sit at the back of a speedboat. Because on the way going, we're like, oh, this is nice, a bit bumpy. And then like kind of felt the water like just started dripping. I'm like, hold on, is it raining? Where is it coming from? I'm asking my friend, are you getting wet? And she's like, no, I'm not. So like, it's like rain. It wasn't raining, but like the water, because it's going so fast, was just coming in. And then all of a sudden, I'm literally getting slapped in the face by the water, like left, right, and center. Obviously, we were dressed up.
You're
So I
beautiful,
had
and
like,
you.
yeah. Obviously, we're like dressed up, and now we're getting super soaked by like the water coming in. All I felt is like the water just slapped my face, and like my eyelash, I had on fake lashes, so one of them just flew like that side, and I was like, no, I'm not doing this.
It's
So everyone
the worst
at
thing
the
that
front was
maybe
just,
happened to a girl.
honestly, everyone at the front was kind of like just looking, and like you could tell they wanted to laugh. And then I just sat there like so annoyed. And this continued for maybe like 40 minutes. So the first stop on the tour was, it was kind of like a lagoon area, and you could get out, do snorkeling and stuff. But I think I was so annoyed. I'm like, no, I'm not getting off the boat. I'm just going to sit on the boat and get dry because I was soaking wet. So, but it was kind of like a nice little alcovey area. The water was just so nice and clear. And then people got out, you could do a bit of snorkeling and that kind of stuff. We were there for maybe about 45 minutes. So that was enough time for people to get out, enjoy a bit of a splash, take some photos, and then on to the next place. So the next stop we had, it was actually PP Island. It was so pretty. Like, it's so pretty. I'm really gutted that we didn't have enough time there. So when we got there, we had lunch. So lunch was provided in the hotel. But then I think we probably had lunch, and we probably had 20 minutes to walk around. But then again, because I didn't have a good leg, I wasn't able to explore a lot because I couldn't go that fast and that far in the 20 minutes.
Does it the locally dish for the tour, or maybe the original food from Thailand for the lunch?
Yeah, so the food that you got, the lunch, it was authentic kind of Thai cuisine. And you just got the options. You had like the chicken, I know they had beef. They had like different options for you, but it was kind of
so
Thai
you can
food.
choose
And again,
you can choose the food before.
Yeah. So it was provided, and it was kind of like a buffet style. And then you picked kind of what you wanted. And then once you had that, you were free to kind of go and walk about and do what you wanted. It was really pretty. Along where the dock is, they had little shops selling like nice little trinkets. You could probably buy like your magnets or your little memorabilia from there if you wanted to. And then
something
it was like a
souvenir, yes?
Yeah, you can buy your souvenirs there. And there was like a long kind of walkway. So you're overlooking like the sea, and then that way you're kind of seeing the other bits that's kind of on the island. So we mainly stayed along that strip because, as I was saying, I wasn't able to get very far. So we did that bit, and then we went back to the boat. And then the last bit we stopped at was a little island called Bamboo Island. So on Bamboo Island, you could then come off, you could snorkel. It was basically time on the beach to just chill. Time on the beach to just chill and kind of do what you wanted. And yeah, that tour was really, really nice. So after that, they took you back to the pier, and then they took you home. So it was definitely like a full day tour. You definitely
from
get
the morning
your money's worth.
to the night.
Yeah, so we started the tour, can't remember what time we started, but I know we were off before 9 a.m. at the pier. And then when we came back, I think it was maybe 4:35. So it was a full day. And you do get the time to kind of explore each of the little bits. So I forgot to say as well, as part of that tour, we came across an area called Maya Beach. And it's a famous island. It's a film with Leo DiCaprio. Can't remember the name. Yeah, I can't remember the name of the film. But it was Maya Beach. We weren't able to go on the beach because since that film took place, they just had loads of tourists going there. So they had to the area needed to kind of rejuvenate because there was just too many people visiting it. So we did Maya Beach, and then we also did like a little bit where it's like Monkey Island. So when the boat went past, you can see like you can see like on the rocks, and they were just there chilling, and then like they jumped off in the water. I did not know that monkeys could swim. Like I didn't know.
I love monkey.
I saw that.
I love monkey.
I love monkeys.
I want to have monkey in my home also. I love it.
They're so cute, like so adorable. Some of the tours, and I don't know if they are maybe a private company or just a private group of people. I noticed that they were able to go actually onto the actual, they were able to stop their boat and go onto the sand and be playing with the monkeys. But we were told that that's not good for the monkeys because sometimes they can get a bit aggressive, that kind of situation. So that wasn't included in our tour, but that was fine. I still got to see them, and that was really nice. So that tour in itself, it was kind of pick up from the hotel, take you to your pickup where you got the speedboat. We did to the kind of the lagoon area to snorkel, then to Maya Beach, then we went to PB Island. Then we saw the little monkeys, like the little monkey island, and then we went to the last island where we were able to just chill and just be on the beach. So that was the PB Island tour. So yeah,
it's a full package of most of the island in Thailand, yeah?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's definitely a tour that's well worth kind of doing. And the tour guides, they speak English, they had some that spoke Spanish, Italian. So I think
lots
there
of
is
language.
Yeah, exactly. They're very diverse. So that was really nice. Yeah. And then now the third tour that I went on, that was the James Bond Island tour. And they call it James Bond Island because the island is actually in a James Bond film, and I can't remember the name of the film.
Oh, no problem.
It's in a James Bond film. We again booked this for our hotel, and we got the tour. We got the early tour, so it was super, super early, which meant that we got picked up. I think we had to be ready for about 4:30 in the morning. So like the alarm went off, and I was like, no, I don't want to.
I can.
So the pickup was at 5:30. Our hotel did us little lunch boxes, which was really cute. Or no, breakfast boxes actually, which was really cute. And we got picked up, and then nice air-conditioned van took us again to the port. And then we got on the speedboat. And then first stop was James Bond Island for the speedboat. But en route, we stopped off where close by there was a cave. There was a cave that's kind of close to where the island is. So we stopped there, and we kind of had the option to get off the boat, go into the cave, etc. And I was a bit skeptical about it because, again, I keep saying this, but I had a dodgy leg. So I'm like, what am I going to do? But the tour guys, they were really helpful. So the guy kind of helped me up the boat. I had my crutch with me, and he was like, if you leave it, then I can kind of like, he'll be like my crutch for me. So he helped me. So when they said cave, I thought, it's probably like a little thing and they're saying it's a cave, but it was actually a legit cave. So like we got off and they're like, oh, duck your head. So we had on helmets and stuff. My friend and I, we had really super long braids. So I'm like, this isn't going to get into the thing. And I had on like a long flowy dress. So I had to like tie my dress. Yeah. Like tie my up. I'm like, this is not what I signed up for. I'm still going to go. I tie my dress, put my hair down, put the cap on, and they were like, yeah.
You are always in a beautiful situation in your tours.
They gave us like flashlights and stuff, and then we just had to follow each other kind of in a line through this cave, and it was like dark, and like I'm walking through like water, and I'm like, I don't know if there's bats in the cave. What the hell am I doing? But when we went through the cave and we came up in the middle of like, it was just like land and just loads of like trees and plants and flowers. And then when you looked up, it was like the trees went right up, but then the sunlight was just coming right down in.
It's like a paradise, I think.
Yeah, it was so beautiful. And it's weird because you're going through this dark cave, and you're like, I didn't know what to expect at the end of it. And like you come out and you're just surrounded by, it was so like just so beautiful and just so quiet. And then like you can hear the birds in there and I'm like, do they fly over from the top and fly in, or like what do they do? So we had some time there. I didn't take my phone and I had my camera. As I told you, I bought a camera for my birthday. But what I didn't do is learn how to use that camera. So, I need to record this. What do I press? And I was just like, okay, I can't spend the time trying to figure this out. Let me just enjoy it. Because you know what? Sometimes you just have to just go with the flow and just enjoy it. You're not going to be able to capture everything.
Most of the time when you enjoy in a place, you can take a picture. You don't have any picture from that place when you have enjoyed.
Exactly. But you have that memory, and that was the main thing.
You have memory in your mind. You don't need any picture.
Exactly. In the corners, in every corner of my mind. So yeah.
You can feel it.
Exactly. So like talking about it now, I can really like imagine it there. So that was nice. And then when we came back out from the caves, we got back through the little bit and went back onto kind of the boat. And then I was like, oh, there's a little red dot that I can press to record the video. So I figured it out when I was on the boat, but whatever, these things happen. So after that bit, we went on to James Bond Island. And because we got on this super, super early tour, I would recommend if anyone is going to James Bond Island, do the super, super early tour because we were the first ones there.
And more time. You have more time.
Exactly. You have more time. There was like not many people there apart from the people who were on your tour. And the good thing is like everyone kind of just took turns to take their photos and everything. So you go across and you come out and you see like the little stone island like standing in the middle of the sea, and like the sea just wraps around it. It's absolutely stunning. So stunning. And then so with the island, you dock one way, but then the boat goes another way around to pick you up from another side. So you get kind of to walk along the island. So after we obviously spent so much time taking photos in front of the actual island itself, we then went up, and then when you're going across, you can see like where the trees are, they kind of make like a frame. It's kind of like a photo frame but with trees, and then you can see like the island through that. I've got some really cool photos of those. I've put some on my Instagram, so I've got some of those, and I can share more if you need to. But you can see like the nicely framed kind of the island there, and then the trees, and then just the views just beyond. The views are amazing. You went down the stairs, and again, you're walking along just like a stunning view. So that was a bit about of James Bond Island. So I thought, we're going to go to lunch and that's it, done, because we've seen the main island. But then they said, we're going to the village of Koh Phangan. So I was like, interesting. This will be nice. So when we got there, we stopped first at like a little dock area, and they had little canoe boats, or I think they're kayaks. One of them, they're quite similar. And then they were like, we're going to go for a little tour with kind of the locals. So it was 2 people to like one of the boats, and then you had a local person.
For your lunch,
No. So this wasn't lunch yet. This was kind of still, so after the island, this was still quite early.
It's just part of the tour.
Yeah, so this is part of the tour. We got in the boat, to a boat. A little canoe, kayak. I'm going to call it a kayak.
Okay.
Because I think,
okay, and no problem.
And then like we went through and they did like this tour. It lasted maybe about 40 minutes. And you're going through and you're seeing the mangroves, and you're going past caves, you're going under caves. You're like, the whole like scenery is just like, it's stunning. Like just nature is just so beautiful, and it's just so quiet and everything, and like you can hear the little paddles as we go along. So that was fun. But my friend, she was getting a bit excited and like trying to take pictures and moving a lot, and I'm like, I'm not trying to fall out of this kayak. just calm down, okay? Just calm down. So yeah, that bit,
you can relax
really
there.
nice. Yeah, so the locals that took us around, they were local to Koh Phangan, and Koh Phangan is a floating village. So it's literally like floated. Like, it's just very interesting. The population is quite tiny. And so after we did this little tour, we went on to the village. So as we approached it, you could see kind of like the village there, and they had like a floating football pitch, and it's made of plastic. So it's just there kind of like bouncing on the water. So when you got off and we got onto the little village, it was just so nice and quaint and full of personality, because like every little house had like a different colour. So you had like the pinks and the oranges.
They
and,
are
like,
colourful.
The blues.
They are
like very, very colourful, very, 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 very pretty. And they were going through, and it's just kind of like, it makes you humble, and it makes you appreciate a lot more things, because I think there's a lot in kind of like the first world countries that we do take for granted. And then when you see people with like so little, but they're so happy, like it makes you really think stuff like, you know, that thing that you were complaining about, it's really not that big of a deal. And then as we were going, there was this little boy, and he had a pet chicken. So like, he was holding the chicken, like, it was literally like a pet chicken, and I'm like, he's holding the chicken, and then he's trying to give you the chicken to take, but I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't want to hold the chicken. I don't want to hold the chicken. So, but he was there, but that was nice. He had like one, and then there was like two others that was beside him, and I think the tour guide was saying, oh, he's saying it's his pet chicken, and I was like, that is so adorable. We continued walking around, because you kind of do like a circle, and you go through the market. The market, again, so vibrant. They're selling loads of stuff. You can get like little jewelry, you can get like little trinkets, you can get bits and bobs, loads of stuff that you can get from there. You can get clothing items, etc. And then we walk up, and they're like, oh, this is the bank. And it was literally like a room.
Bank?
So it's the bank. Yeah, like they had a bank in the village, and it's like, it's just like a, you know, like you think of a bank, you think like it's a big building.
It's a modern village.
It's like, yeah, it's like but the bank is like so tiny. I've never seen anything like this. And then when you went around the other side, they had the schools. And then, so each classroom, you had children from different ages. So it started with obviously the older kids, and then kind of went down.
You
and
can go to the schools or the bank. You can go inside.
So no, you can go along it, but you can't go. They're doing proper lessons and stuff. And I guess it would be disruptive for them. Yeah. But what you can do is that you can kind of leave donations and stuff to help the support for the village. Because I know when there was a tsunami, I can't remember what year it was, they did kind of suffer a lot. And because it's kind of like a fishing village, most of it is on stilts and stuff in the water, then they were subjected to quite a bit of damage. So you can kind of help out if you want to. But the way they had it was just, again, everyone just looked so happy. They had like the different classes going along. So you had like the older kids, and then all the way down to the young kids. And then after that bit, we kind of went back through the market, and then we went back on the boat. And by this time, I was hungry. I've been up since 4:30. I need to eat. And I can't eat really early. I'm always like, oh, it's too early to eat right now. So all I had that time.
Where did you eat? Banana. In a village or in?
So we went to another kind of like island, and it was a tour guide's home island. So I think it was like her family, and they did like, again, a spread of food for you to have. So we went on this island. They had like a little swing, and they had the huts and stuff, and then you had the food. It was just nice. It was like right in front of the beach. So you had food there, and you could chill if you wanted to. And then they said, oh, you know, it's time to go back to the boat. So I'm like, okay, but where's the boat? Like the boat was like all the way out in the sea, and that's because the tide was out. Yeah, so the tide was out, so they couldn't come closer. So we had to then walk along and walk in the water to walk towards the boat.
How about your leg?
Okay. Not your leg. So I got in the water, and the tour guide, one of the tour guides, he had to pick me up. So there I am, picked up in this guy's arms, you know. Oh,
You
okay,
have
yeah,
wonderful guide.
This is what we're doing. So that's fine. And we went onto the boat, and she's like, "Oh, I hope everyone is stuffed now. Now we go do a bit of snorkeling." And I absolutely adore snorkeling. So we got to another island, and they docked, and they gave they provided like the snorkeling gear and all of the stuff that you wanted. So did a bit of snorkeling, got off, did a bit of snorkeling, and it was like little clownfish. So have you seen like Finding Nemo?
Yes,
So
I saw it in
yeah.
the movie, Nemo.
So the little fishes from that, it's there. Sorry, fishes, fish, because it's not fishes.
Yeah, fish.
The little fish from there. It's literally those ones from the movie. So like snorkeling was just it was so nice there because they would come so close to you, and then you're trying to like grab them. I tried to grab them. I know I'm not supposed to, but I tried to grab them, and then they just swim away, but then they swim back. So it was nice to do like a little bit of snorkeling there, and then just lie in the sun, chill out, take some photos and that kind of stuff. So that was nice. And then after that, then we came back to the pier, and then they took us to the hotel. So again, it was like a whole full day. Bear in mind, I had to be up from 4:30, and then we got back to the dock maybe about 5. So again, it was like a full comprehensive day. And to be fair, I definitely recommend it. So you get all the gear for like the snorkeling and stuff. They even provide you with like insect spray, because we needed that for when we were going on the tour in the mangroves and stuff. They provided you with like some sun lotion. They had like little chopped slices of melon or pineapple slices. They had like water or fizzy drinks on there for you. You didn't have to pay extra for it. If you just wanted it, you can have it. So they have like little bits and bobs for you to definitely like enjoy yourself. And that was the same with the tour to the PP Islands as well. They had like the little bits, they had the gear, they had some like little snacks, and they had drinks and stuff like that for you to enjoy. So yeah, it was an amazing time. Yeah.
And I think that I was there because you tell a story very well, and I feel it, I think.
It's really good. I literally have like photos on my Instagram of like each of the different bits that I went to, so you can kind of follow it like a little story if you want to. And I will also have a video. I haven't done it yet because I keep procrastinating, a video of all these lovely places that I've seen. It's just a really, really good time.
And what challenges did you face? Did you face any special challenges, or are there any special rules that we must know before that come to Thailand?
No, so I didn't really face any kind of like challenges. I know beforehand, and with all of like my travels and stuff, I do check, and I do always recommend check kind of your travel advice from your local government in what they say when you're visiting Thailand, and obviously check to see if there's anything that you need. For me, it was to mainly check about a visa, because we were doing like a stopover in Qatar. So I needed to make sure that I was able to kind of, you know, I didn't need to get an extra visa to make that stop there. And then just check on like the local currency, just check out on SIM card. I'll definitely say to get a SIM card when you're there. It's just so much easier and so much better. And you can get one for really cheap. They have different kind of pricing packages that you can have. And you can buy these when you get to the airport.
Internet connection?
Yeah, so if you get the SIM card, you can get kind of the data to go with it, so you can get the different packages that you want. I think they do packs, like kind of like day bundles. They do it for the week, they do it for 2 weeks, and then they do the ones, I think like 10 days or so. There's quite a few to kind of facilitate depending on how long you are actually going to be there on your trip. So yeah, I think check stuff like that. In terms of money, you can have card, but I do say have some cash, because when you're in the markets and stuff like that, a lot of them, they do take cash. And also when you do like the tours and stuff, it's nice to leave a little tip, and they don't have like a card machine for you to tap a card. So it's always nice to kind of have some cash for that. And get your vaccines. I know not a lot of people like getting vaccines and stuff, and I completely understand that and I appreciate that, but I'm that person that will not get the vaccine, and then I'll go to the place, and then I'll come back with whatever it is that I should have gotten the vaccine for. So there was quite a few things. There's quite a few things that you can get vaccine for, but I think if you have kind of Hep A, Hep B, and typhoid, and maybe tetanus. So if you get kind of the basic ones, then you should be covered and you should be all right. But it really depends on what you're going to do. Obviously, I wasn't going to be going through like the really jungle type areas there. So certain ones I didn't need to get. The basic ones where it's kind of any kind of food poisoning, those kind of, illnesses, then I think it's good to kind of check so that you can get the vaccines for those as well.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay. And what was the first thing that caught your attention in Thailand?
The first thing that caught my attention is kind of how much it reminded me of Jamaica. In that it's very kind of like tropical, and the people are very kind of chilled, and like just the climate and everything. So I think that for me, it kind of reminded me of home. I say home because I live in England, but Jamaica is home. So that was the first thing that captured me. And then just as we were driving from the airport to the hotel, just how beautiful the place is. It's stunning, just stunning. And I think whatever photos or videos that you see of Thailand or PP Island or Phuket or anywhere,
they are real.
That's legit. That is how it actually looks. It's just so nice and so beautiful, so bright, vibrant. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, that was nice.
And what was the favorite part of your trip?
The favorite part was just being able to have coconuts everywhere. But no, I would have to say kind of the elephants. The elephants, that experience, I've never had that kind of experience before, and that was just totally amazing. So I definitely say kind of the elephants. And I must say as well though, for those people who are more kind of into nightlife, that kind of thing, we did go to Patong Beach one of the nights, and on Patong there is like a strip, like a popular road, and it's got restaurants, it's got little bars and stuff, etc. They had like their shopping malls, they open till really late. So we did kind of one night there, and it was really nice, like loads of bright lights. And I think because it was Christmas as well, it's interesting to see Christmas in a warm country. So they had all the lights and that kind of stuff. So yeah, that was nice as well. It was boiling hot though, and this was still like late at night, maybe like 9, 10. So I'm having ice cream at like 10. Not that there's a specific time when to have ice cream, but like that's how like I'm like, oh my gosh, I'd like to have ice cream or something. So there's that kind of stuff. And then we took a little tuk-tuk. Yeah, so you can have those, and then the one we got, we could connect our music, so we had our music going and all the lights.
Thailand music.
Yeah, so that was nice. So that was a really nice experience. So yeah, all in all, that was nice. I think if I could go back, I would go back and do like maybe a different side of Thailand, but do it for a bit longer. So it all depends on what it is that you want from your trip, really. But I think there's a little bit of everything for everyone. I think if you go to Thailand and you come back unhappy, then I'm sorry.
No, I think everyone can enjoy it because it's a very nature places. And also, Thailand is famous because of the sex tourism. Do you know about it?
Yes. So
can you see anything, or can you tell us a little about that? If you see or feel anything during your travel?
So, as in like you said the sex tourism?
Yeah.
Yeah, so when we went to Patong, that's where you kind of came across it more. And you would have people kind of come up to you trying to sell you like these sex shows and that kind of thing, saying you can come in for free and then like you pay for drinks and stuff like that. But that wasn't kind of my kind of scene. So it wasn't something that I kind of engaged in. But it's definitely like they're kind of in your face, and the people do definitely try to kind of get you involved to go and kind of see these shows. I know of other people who've kind of been and they've gone to the shows and that kind of stuff. But yeah, it wasn't something that I did, but it's definitely very prominent there, and it's definitely something that they do push.
Yes, I heard about it, and I didn't know about the process. And they come to you for free.
Yeah, so they come to you with like the flyer, and it's like they're kind of just telling, like, they're just saying show. And like obviously on the flyer you can get a good idea of what kind of show it is. And some of it is free. So I think obviously when you say yes, they probably then just take you to wherever it is that they are having a show, and then you go and do that. But as I said, from what others have said, they would go and they'd probably go in for free, and then they'd have to pay for like the drinks and that kind of stuff. So I think that's how they make their money.
Okay, thank you so much.
But yeah, I don't know about the shows, but I do know about the massages because I did so many massages whilst I was there.
Well, where is the best place that you have the massage experience?
I think.
Can you remember the name?
There's so many. It's on my road. It literally probably just have, most of them probably just have like Thai massage or just a standard name for the actual place. So it's probably harder to find. But the one that I went to is kind of at the end of the road from where my resort is, and it's the Mandarava Resort. It's right near Caron Beach. So if you're on Caron Beach and you'll see kind of the beach on one side, and you see kind of the man-made lake. You cross the road, they're literally right there across the road, and you can go in and get whatever massages that you want. Just to flag that if you are having a massage and it's a full body massage, expect that they are going to massage your boobs. It's not something that I expected or I knew that was going to happen, but that's what happened. I was there and she was like, oh, turn onto your back. And I was like, oh, okay. Yeah. Like, because, you know, I'm so chilled at this point. And then, like, she just started massaging my boobs. And I was like, oh, this is what's happening? Okay. And then, like, you don't know what to say. So you're just like, fine, just let it happen. It happened. And, yeah, you continue with it. But, yeah, that was a nice place for massages. You can do, like, the full body massages where they take you into the rooms and stuff. Or they have the ones out there where you can do foot massages, arm massages. So there's quite a few different types that you can have.
Okay, thank you so much. So, Iana, do you want to say anything that I didn't ask you during our interview?
I just think, obviously, if you do want to go to Thailand, once, you know, COVID is up, we hope that it goes away soon. But once that's all sorted, and obviously if it's something that you want to do, I say like book that ticket and just go and go have an amazing time, because it's just so beautiful, and it's definitely somewhere that you can have like a stunning experience. And I think even if you're just going to just chill on the beach, it would be kind of amazing. Just do your checks, make sure you've got your insurance and stuff, make sure you've got loads of memory on your camera
and drink coconut.
Like taking some stuff, yeah. And be prepared to drink a whole lot of coconut. Yeah, but yeah. If you check out my page, I've shared quite a few photos from Thailand, and once I do that video,
I will show them your ID to check your photo also. And
yeah, just feel free if you want to just drop me a message to get more information. Anyone can, so I'm more than happy to kind of help out. Okay, so thanks, Iana, for taking your time and being with us. That's okay. Thank you for having me. Audience, thanks for watching us, and I hope you found this talking useful. If you have such a wonderful experience, such as Iana, contact us because you can be our next guest. Thank you for watching us. Bye bye, Iana.